Welcome to In the Field here on the Reserve Pool Network. I'm RJ Retro alongside Shadow Meld once again as we get ready for a matchup between the person who won the very first In the Field event that we ever had, Dylan, and a newcomer who goes by the name of Protocerebus, or Ben. So we're getting the initial rolls underway here. Protocerebus will go first. It's the Creepy Crawlers versus the Little House. Shadow Meld, start us off here when you're looking at a team such as the Creepy Crawlers who are about to begin this game. What's your first impression?
Well, Creepy Crawlers has a lot of high attack value characters that have really low costs. So it looks like he's going to pressure and attempt to overwhelm his opponent with his high attack values. He's got some globals that he can utilize. Specifically, Mr. Fantastic, he can force his opponent to attack. And if he trades a medium attack value character versus his high attack value characters and just starts punching each other in the face, he'll come out on top with that. Meanwhile, Dylan, he's sporting the Little House team, which is a play on Big House, which is the prison that the Avengers have established. And that's probably because Dylan's bringing his absolute favorite card, Imprisoned. And to follow it up, he does have a high number of Avenger characters. And it looks like he's going to be rolling out a whole bunch of free Avengers with Nick Fury and doing something similar to Creepy Crawlers with some good high-value attack characters between Giant Man, Iron Man, and Hulk. The question is whose characters are bigger and whose strategy will win out?
Exactly. When you're looking at Imprisoned, it does not help when you have a lot of cheap characters in terms of the fielding costs. And if you look at the Creepy Crawlers team, Morphing Jar, the Carrion Crawler, Mr. Fantastic, Giant Man Storm, Human Paladin, can all be imprisoned on their level 3 faces, except for the fact that now Professor X, who's probably not going to be purchased, and the Hulk are the only ones that can survive the Imprisoned coming onto the board. And again, that's only on level 3. So that could shut down the Creepy Crawlers really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we're looking at here is Protocerebus bought a Hulk out as his first turn, as well as saved some energy for Professor Xavier and fielded a sidekick. So he's looking to ramp a little bit with the action die and also plan to get his high attack value characters charging in for damage early. And the one thing I will say is with Imprisoned only works if your opponent leaves his characters on the field. So if Protocerebus just starts swinging through with his characters every turn, Dylan's Imprisoned strategy isn't going to work.
And one benefit to the Creepy Crawlers, they do use polymorph, so they do have the option of spinning something else up, or spinning something down rather, to get Hulk up to that level 3 face, which is going to be very devastating. Now, with the Hulk J Giant, though, you generally want him on the first or second level because it allows you to knock out an opposing character of any level when Hulk takes damage. And so we're probably going to see some Mr. Fantastic global shenanigans, which are going to force some opposing character to block the Hulk for a good way of removal. And we're just seeing a Giant Man being purchased. So the Giant Man gets purchased on the Creepy Crawler team rather than the Little House team, but I think it's fair to say we're going to see a Giant Man sooner than later.
And more importantly, he just used 2 spare bolts to trigger his Carrion Crawler's global and prep 2 sidekicks. So he's getting some prep even with his bolt dice, his bolt faces, even though he didn't roll enough masks to activate his Professor Xavier. So that's some good value he's bringing to the board on ramping with 2 out of 6 faces. Well, 3 out of 6 faces of his die. That's 50% of the time you're rolling some sort of ramp. Meanwhile, Dylan has a Nick Fury that he purchased on turn 1 and was able to get some Professor Xavier ramp going. And now he's got a couple sidekicks he's debating re-rolling. Yeah, he re-rolls a lot of things. Gets a ton of question marks. So he's set for Professor X ramp. Fields a sidekick, and he's looking to buy something for a bolt and 2 fists. Is it going to be the Wasp or the Iron Man?
Yeah, that's a question. When we talk about calling cards, obviously Dylan known for Imprisoned, but for those of you that have not seen Protocerebus play that much online, he is known for using that Carrion Crawler Global quite a bit, and at least from my perspective, he's the only one I've seen using him in Little Cup, so I think Carrion Crawler is a good calling card for Ben. Obviously, that's why the name of the team is the Creepy Crawlers. We're going to see Giant Man rolled here for the first time now. He does not have Nick Fury, Mr. Anger on that team, and so there it is, level 3, Giant Man, 7/7. He will have to pay those costs, but I don't think that's necessarily a problem for him. He's always used to ramping with Professor Xavier. He's going to have a lot of energy to spend, and we'll have to wait and see what he does with this reroll.
I'm intrigued to see if he even rerolls. With what he's got on the board, he can hit for 7 damage to the face and still have a sidekick left over for next turn. It'll be interesting to see if that's what he chooses to do, or since Dylan hasn't bought an Imprison yet, if he wants to leave the 7/7 out for just a minute. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Meanwhile, Dylan's still saving some energy, but there aren't any real defensive globals on the board, so that energy doesn't really stop him from taking just straight up 7 to the face.
Yeah, the Carrion Crawler does allow. The Carrion Crawler Global does allow you to eliminate an opposing sidekick if need be. It's really just another sort of relentless. He has decided to do that. Giant Man's going to come out and swing for 7, just like that. We are looking at a 20-13 game. Now, I don't think this is something that Dylan is necessarily afraid of. He's used to dealing or taking a lot of damage early on, and then just coming back and hitting for massive amounts of damage later on in the game. So we're going to see some characters coming out here. Hopefully for him, he'll get Nick Fury and Iron Man right onto the board and into the field. And this is a situation right again where he can come right back and hit for some big damage as well. But I don't think he's going to hit for as many as Protocerebus did.
Yeah, it looks like he missed his first Iron Man roll. We'll see if he is able to pick it back up. But he's got tons of energy. He did keep 2 sidekicks from his initial roll. We'll see what he does. What he does with the sidekicks, whether he wants them for ramp or if he's planning on. There's the reroll, and he missed Iron Man.
But he does get the extra energy here. He's got a ton of energy to use. He's only going to use 1 to field Nick Fury, and he's going to be able to get some big characters purchased here should he want to. If he wants to get the 6-cost Hulk, he could probably do that. The Human Paladin could come out here. A ton of options for Dylan, so even though he missed on his Iron Man roll, he's still not looking too bad.
Yeah, and you're right. He can get the Hulk and maintain some of his PXG ramp, so that the Hulk is probably coming out next turn. That's a big deal. We'll see. Yep, that's exactly what he does. He grabs the Hulk, he saves 2 question marks for Professor X, and it looks like he's going to be trying to get this big, mean, nasty Hulk out on the board as quickly as he can. And with Fury already on the board, that's a free Hulk.
So the Hulk and the Iron Man could make all the difference on this next turn. I think it's clear Protocerebus needs to make sure that he gets some characters on the board. I think he needs to get a Giant Man out there. He's going to be rolling. He's going to be drawing 3 sidekicks plus, like we mentioned, hopefully that Giant Man for him. If he doesn't get something on the board, he could be in a lot of trouble really quickly.
It's actually those 3 sidekicks and a Hulk out. Giant Man can't cycle through.
That is true. So here we go. Is he looking for sidekicks? What would you be hoping for in this scenario?
I definitely don't need Hulk out this turn, and I would prefer just a bunch of masks and some stuff I can buy. I will say that one of the better options for me would be to find a way to remove my opponent's Hulk, because unless Dylan goes straight for the aggressive, play the Hulk and a swing with him immediately, he's going to want to try and keep him on the board to prevent Cerebus from just attacking every time he gets a character face. So
could we see something along the lines of forcing Nick Fury to attack to make sure that if Dylan does pull the Hulk and the Iron Man out of his bag, which it looks like he will, that he has to pay the energy cost to put him out there, at least make him re-roll the Nick Fury? Is that an option?
It's an option. I personally would have done it last turn instead of PXGing, because he knew he was going to have a pretty poor turn. I would have forced the Nick Fury last turn so that I knew that the Hulk and the Iron Man wouldn't get it. He can't force the Nick Fury to attack now because it's not his opponent's turn. So I would again try and save that mask for that global, but oh, now that is a good purchase. He just picked up Storm so that if he does put the Hulk out on the field, since Dylan has no way to actively trigger the Hulk until the attack step, where he can force his opponent to attack in on him, Storm can force the Hulk to re-roll and perhaps even get him off the board. At the very least, possibly cause him to roll up to a level 3 and only be able to get rid of level 1 characters. So Storm's a really great purchase to counter the Hulk.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of that Storm. We are going to see a roll of some big characters on this turn, only one sidekick in the field for Protocerebus. It looks like Hulk is staying in the bag this turn, but there's a big level 3 Iron Man.
That is a huge level 3 Iron Man. Now, Cerebus did not use his Hulk out last turn, which should cause the Hulk out to move to the used pile for not being used. But other than that, all he's got left is one question mark. And it's going to be interesting what he tries to do with that one question mark.
So we're in a situation where Dylan is down by 7 points, but with the sidekick and Iron Man in the field, if he decides to kill the opposing sidekick, he can make it. He can actually do 8 damage and still have Nick Fury in the field.
Yep, absolutely. Or if even if Cerebus forces Fury to attack, that's 10 damage that he's taking this turn. That's pretty debilitating. It does mostly even up the game though, and would leave Dylan with nothing on the board. So that might not be what he's hoping to do. We'll see how it goes though.
Well, a big purchase, Polymorph has just taken place.
Yep. Polymorph for Dylan. That's probably to ensure that he gets Hulk out on level 1 in case he misses it next turn, or possibly just to act as a source of removal against like a 7/7 Giant Man, where he can either force the Giant Man out onto the field at level 1, or get Storm off the board I don't think Storm's ever going to stay on the board long enough to be polymorphed, but we'll see how it goes.
Lots of things could still happen in this game. It is a 2013 game, but a much closer game, and we see that the sidekick does get killed. Dylan is going to make a big attack here. What does Protocerebus do with that final question mark? It looks like he is PXGing, so he's going to take some damage to the face.
Yeah, but he knows he can't die from this, and the PXG allows him to have a ton of energy for next turn. If he gets Storm and Giant Man, he could force a wipe on the opponent's board and swing in for another 7, 8, 9 even, which is in and of itself is going to be a huge amount of just quality damage.
Only 6 damage is going to be sent to the face of Protocerebus. Dylan has decided not to attack with the sidekicks or with Nick Fury, so we're going to be looking at a 14-13 game in just 1 minute here.
Yeah,
Protocerebus is biding some time by only dropping his life total by 1 each time. Slowly, he's taking some extra time to think about what he's going to be doing on this upcoming turn.
Dylan has reserved a mask and a question mark. We'll see if he's going to use that to force attack or possibly even utilize the Wasp Global. That's something we haven't seen used yet. We've seen sidekicks get picked off with the Carrion Crawler Global, but for 1 extra energy, you can actually ping characters. And now that I noticed that can be used on the Hulk, and that was something I missed earlier when I said there was no way to ping the Hulk early. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. Fortunately, Hulk's not on the board yet.
No, but he's going to be coming out next turn. Here comes a level 3 Giant Man, and Storm's fielding for free. I think that is a pretty decent option here for Protocerebus, although, like you mentioned, Storm can get pinged off before any sort of attack step takes place.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue.
But it does kill. It actually does kill Dylan's ramp to do that. So whether or not he's going to make that risk, this is a tight 14-13 game.
Absolutely, and even just swinging with just the Giant Man alone will be putting a lot of pressure. It'll only end up prepping 1 sidekick, but It's going to be a lot of pressure to put on the board.
So 9 damage could be coming through to Dylan's face here if Protocerebus gets a lucky storm roll here. Very likely those sidekicks are coming off the board. A 50% chance that Fury's coming off the board. This is going to be a big turn for Protocerebus. He's going to save the question mark. Looks like he'll pass priority to Dylan. What will Dylan do with those 2 energies? Do you foresee a ping on that storm? And he is.
Yep. There he goes. He pings storm. That was really the smartest play, like the safest play, because he's going to have the Hulk next turn to take care of the Giant Man, and he knows he can just chump block the Giant Man this turn. So that's a pretty solid defense he's got with just 3 characters.
Protocerebus has chosen not to attack this turn. It is now Dylan's turn. The Hulk is going to be rolled. This could be massive.
Oh, and that's a polymorph in case he misses the Hulk. Yep. And then a pair of masks for some polymorph global if he needs them, or to save for Professor Xavier. Now the question is he going to reroll this polymorph, or does he have a plan with it?
He did reroll it. It did not come up energy. You can't see that on the screen because it looks like it stayed the same, but we can confirm that polymorph was re-rolled. And so now maybe there's a situation where you buy a Black Widow and bring it in instead of a sidekick. I don't know if that's the best option, but certainly Dylan has a few options here.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. Another option would be he could use his masks to ping the Hulk and get rid of the Giant Man for once and for all. Or he could save them and do the pinging on his opponent's turn when he gets more of a benefit out of it, because he can't clear the entire board, so he doesn't want to swing with everything, as it would give him a disadvantage. He would much rather be able to kill his opponent's characters on his opponent's turn. Let's see what magical dice come out of the bag for Cerebus, and see if he gets anything that will allow him to get a significant advantage. Or even if he just rolls a level 2 storm, if he can do that, then he can swing through. He can swing with it and get a nice board clear going on. We'll see how it goes, though.
So here we go. 2 masks on the storm. That's good news for Dylan. No Hulk out comes out as well. So we're not going to see some damage to the face necessarily unless we get a lucky reroll for Protocerebus.
Oh, there's a level 2 storm and a Hulk out, as well as a magical question mark. Let's see. We're going to need to field the storm. It's probably going to be... Oh, he uses the question mark. Now, is he going to... Oh, he KOs a sidekick and another sidekick, trying to clear as many things off the board as he can reliably.
This will be interesting. Now, he has to pass priority before he makes the attack. So Giant Man is going to be coming off the field, more than likely.
He could choose another target for that. Either target is an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's true. The Storm has the possibility of taking Fury and the Hulk out, while Giant Man could potentially do 7 damage to the face. And he has decided to use the Human Paladin Global on Giant Man, so reduce the damage you take from a character's ability to 1. I think that may be just something that is being considered here. Yeah, that's not going to stop Hulk from killing Giant Man, because all you have to do is when Hulk is on the burst face, you can knock out any opposing character of any level. So Protocerebus has decided to pass priority. I hope he realizes that the Giant Man is going down. If Dylan decides to ping Hulk, the Giant Man is gone. And that is exactly what's happening. Dylan has pinged the Hulk, Giant Man gets KO'd, and it's going to go back to Protocerebus' turn. The question mark and the Hulk out going to the out of play.
I personally would have re-rolled the storm. Getting rid of the storm allows you to prevent the chance that you'll lose both your characters anyway. And that getting rid of the storm is like Giant Man's just going to come back again next turn. Storm may swing through for 2 damage, which doesn't seem like a lot, um, but losing that level 2 Hulk, that perfect
Oh,
sweet
he
Hulk.
stays on the field, but
Oh,
Nick
so
Fury
good.
is gone. So Hulk is going to take out the Storm nonetheless. And we try not to be results oriented, but my goodness, that worked out very well for Dylan. He's going to come back on his turn with a level 2 Hulk already in the field. We could see Iron Man. We could see a huge swing through. We could possibly see the game on this next turn.
Quite possibly indeed, especially with the Hulk after blocking the storm also being able to kill a sidekick for free. That is just devastating. Now Cerebus has one sidekick and a mask, and you're right. There's Iron Man, and here comes Nick Fury. Let's see which they roll. Oh, both character faces. That, sir, is more than likely game.
It very well could be. It
Oh,
depends
yep.
on what happens up here. And also keep in mind the players have to see it as well. He's going to field Fury. He's going to field Iron Man for free. Now he could spin Fury down to spin Iron Man up, and that would be game. And he's going
Uh,
to take out the sidekick.
yeah, he just takes out the sidekick, and that's 14 right there, isn't it? 7, 6, 7, 14.
That's 14 damage. So unless we see some sort of a mistake here, no, that's going to be it. Dylan has done it. He is 2-0 on stream as part of In the Field. So Dylan now is going to be the guy to beat. He has the bullseye on his back. We're going to get him into the game, get him into the studio here with us. Dylan, congratulations here. Little House is victorious. You didn't even really need Imprisoned at all this game. Didn't even buy it, but you were able to get a lot of damage through with your Avengers. So how does it feel to get the win without actually needing to use Imprisoned at all?
No, it feels great. I mean, it's always. I mean, I bring it because it's there as a backup where you get into a situation where you're up against a wall of characters, and you need a resource that's easy to take out at least half of them to kind of help thin that wall down. I love the fact that most of the time though my opponent does tend to buy them as well, just because it turns into a race as soon as I start buying them. So I mean, it also potentially could flood their bag too with dice that may not be useful, especially with this team where I have a lot of higher costing fielding cost, at least with Hulk and Iron Man being at least one, and even Nick Fury on his higher face and Wasp. But yeah, no, it seemed to work really well here. I knew not to leave that storm out there though. I mean, I figured that last time I was willing to risk it just because they would both go to the prep, so I'd get a chance to roll both of them, and I was willing to take the 2 to do that. But I just got really lucky on that last roll with the Hulk. So
Yeah, it was quite a lucky roll. How do you like that Hulk Wasp synergy?
well, I love it for Little Cup. I know a lot of people are using the rare one right now, but in Little Cup, it's actually more effective with Hulk, just because you can multi-do it. So there's no limit on once per turn, versus the rare you can only do once per turn. Even though you do get the bonus of attacking to the face versus a character, I still feel like this fits better on teams that are utilizing Hulk in a more manageable way. So.
And lastly, why Enrage?
Enrage simply just for the pump. I mean, it also just creates a die that basically my opponent's never going to touch. It's just going to be there for for the pump. And in the end, I with Iron Man being bolts and Wasp being bolts, I figured why not throw it on there. I was originally thinking maybe Hulk out just to give me another 2-drop option, but that extra pump sometimes can be the difference. Getting him down to 1. So.
That's
Absolutely.
Dylan and his Little House team. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to be joined by Protocerebus here, also known as Ben. You got to play your Creepy Crawlers team with some new faces on the on your team here, and although you came up short, it was a very competitive matchup. How did you feel it went?
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty great. Like a couple of new guys on my team trying new stuff out. Unfortunately, I didn't get to my morphing jar as quickly as I thought I would. I didn't even touch it all game for ramp, but it's a pretty good game.
Nevertheless, Protocerebus able to get a game in here against Dylan, who is sort of the undeclared champion here. But when you're 2-0 on the stream, that says a lot. So I can only imagine who's going to try to step up and knock Dylan off the top of the ladder. Shadow Meld will look at this game as a whole here. Obviously, I would say it was a fairly competitive matchup. What do you think was the turning point that really helped Dylan become the winner again?
Well, like I pointed out during the stream, he missed an opportunity to get Nick Fury off the field for cheap, and that just led to a Hulk Iron Man beat-down fielding for free, and that was a big opportunity that was missed. And once Hulk landed on the board, it was kind of just over. That level 2 Hulk would have been impossible to field with just the Hulk and Iron Man, because it would have been a 3 fielding cost over 4 dice. It just would have been too much of a resource loss, and he would have had to choose. He may have chosen the Hulk, but at that point, it would have been less of a threat, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's Little House victorious in the matchup up against the Creepy Crawlers. Thanks for tuning in for In the Field 2. We will be back with another episode sooner than later. On behalf of my partner in crime, Shadow Meld, and the 2 players today, Protocerebus, and the winner, once again, Dylan, with this Little House team. I'm RJ Retro. Thanks for coming in the field with us. We'll be back sooner than later. Bye for now.